We are tonight's entertainment.
You will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Excellent!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of the Movie Mania podcast. We are here to talk film, past, present, and future. I am your host, Sherman White of Podcast Media, and joining us on the OG, the pilot episode, if you will, of our show, is the man, the myth, the legend. The reason you're all here, he liked Mad Max before it was cool. BanditIncorporated.
Yay! Thank you very much. It's been a long, hard road for us to get here.
Oh, yeah.
But we are here
Absolutely.
Eventually.
Oh, finally.
And if all goes to plan, hopefully this is also on iTunes. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it works.
Fingers crossed. Yes. We will pray to the Apple God.
Yes, save us, Apple God. Please do so.
Yes. The plan for today's show, we're going to go through some movie news, such as Force Friday and all that, and then we're going to get into some of the our favorite films of this past summer, maybe some of our least favorite films, but then the meat of our episode is our favorite films of all time, plus some of our least favorites. I'll get some viewer questions from you guys. So, yeah, that sound good?
Sounds fantastic. I am so pumped.
We'll get to fantastic. We'll forget to fantastic when we get to it.
Yeah, that's a dirty word now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But can I just say, sorry, Sherman, I got it.
Of course.
This is kind of like a rebirth of Movie Mania in a way.
Oh, I forgot to say that we are the new 52 of Movie Mania.
That's right.
We are the.
It existed.
Yeah. We are the.
It existed as a little thing that nobody was listening to on my channel.
I listened to
way
it.
Back.
I watched it.
Yeah, you were the only listener.
That's how it gets. That's how I got here now, kids.
Yeah.
By listening and not having a life.
We had like listener submitted questions at the end, and I think yours was the one that we never got to because we stopped doing this show because nobody was listening.
Karma.
But we are back.
Well, what goes around comes around.
And hopefully Movie Mania 2.0 will actually
We're the dark, gritty reboot of Movie Mania.
So dark.
We have to be Man of Steel. We have to be sulking around and stare at sunsets on the beach.
That's right. I'm brooding right now.
Yes, I'll be looking off and staring, and I can't. So let's start and look at some movie news here. You know who Sam Smith is, hopefully. British pop star, famous song. I can't sing.
Hang on, I forgot. I got to put in a movie news intro. So right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. Cannonball!
That was good, wasn't it?
Now on to... Yeah, sure. Great. Into the movie news. We have Sam Smith, British pop star. He is going to be singing the theme song for the new James Bond film, Spectre. Excuse me, it's spelled wrong.
Okay.
Spectre. So, yeah, your thoughts on that, Bandit?
Yeah, I mean, the James Bond theme songs were like such a big deal. Like in the old days, They're not really that big of a deal anymore. So
I feel like Skyfall was like a big deal. At least in the movie world, it became a big thing.
Yeah.
Like I know.
Oh yeah.
That's what got me into Adele's songs was Skyfall. And then I found that she was super depressing, so I quit.
But like they like because like James Bond has been around for what is it like 60 years or something like that, or something insane.
Yeah, it's pushing like 55.
Yeah, but like they had like the Beatles singing their songs at the height of the Beatles fame.
Paul McCartney did Live and Let Die. I know Cheryl. Is it Cheryl Bassey? She did Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever. I think You Only Live Twice.
Madonna did one.
A lot.
Ugh. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
great.
we don't talk about that one. Yeah.
But who like if they were gonna do that today, like let's get the biggest star. Like who could they get? Like Kanye West or something?
I mean, yeah, like they get Kanye West with it. Like they get like a whole team of like Kanye West. Like this, just get the whole playlist from the VMAs and just get them to like sing like 2 lines.
They were like, "This is the
so we'll have a
ultimate
Kanye
James
West
Bond
rap
song."
and but people would love it. People would listen to it, and it'd be the #1 on the chart. But I think Sam Smith is a good choice. From the one song that I have heard that everyone loved to sing at the time, I think it's called Right Where We Are. I don't know, but he has a good voice on him. He's talented.
I'll tell you what. I'll see if I can get it and include a few seconds of it here.
Yeah, I'm just hoping because the song that I'm thinking of, it's very romanticized. It's very like slow R&B, like I Love You kind of song.
Okay.
I don't want Spectre to have, because James Bond theme is supposed to be like bombastic and huge and like da 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 da. You know, I don't want a love song, because we already had that. It's called Your Eyes Only. I don't want that again. All right, moving on. This is like maybe a week and a half ago. Did you see the Force Awakens Instagram teaser?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah. You get to see John Boyega with a bit of Luke Skywalker lightsaber there.
Yeah, I was sitting. I remember I got home from school and I had to pee, but I didn't want to pee because I saw that this thing was going on. So I sat down on my bed and Finn ignites his lightsaber, and I'm not going to tell you what happened next, but it was magical.
That's how you know you're a fan.
It feels, and that shot looks very special effectsy, but it doesn't look like glossy, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing looks like he's behind a green screen, but it looks like still like a lived-in universe, and this movie is just looking to come out so great.
You know what struck me? Is that's like he's got the Luke Skywalker lightsaber, and it's like that's the lightsaber that Luke dropped when his hand got cut off, that Obi-Wan gave him in the
Cloud
first
City.
movie because it belonged to Anakin in the prequels. So that lightsaber has like traveled through the whole Star Wars.
Oh yeah, it's been around forever. Yeah, I'm sure it belonged to someone else before Anakin got his. It's been around forever. It's like, I don't know. It's a big deal. And I mean, like, there were rumors back excuse me, my dog's being loud.
That's right.
There were rumors last December, not even last December, but like a couple years ago, about how the whole situation was kind of ignited by, Luke's hand falling into the atmosphere of a planet. Like, that was the rumor. And I don't think that's what they're going for, but from the look of the lightsaber, that lightsaber is something important, because we see it being handed to Leia in the teaser from Star Wars Celebration as well. So, but I have a comment. People were upset that shot got spoiled for them. Like, I know Sam Gatt from Sam's channel. Mm-hmm. He said something about how he was a little peeved off that that shot was shown to him so many times.
How was it spoiled though? Like, because we already seen John Boyega with a lightsaber on his belt. So
yes, that's my thing. And maybe I understand people were saying in context and how they don't want to see any more trailers, but I guess the way I look at it, J.J. Abrams is so secretive with his trailers. He's so secretive with all things about, especially with Star Wars. Like, I've spoken to someone who edits movie trailers. It was nice. I saw them at a movie screening, and they said that they have gotten nothing from Star Wars, and they don't get it until like 2 weeks before the trailer comes out.
Wow.
So, like, he's being so secretive. I'm sure they're showing you everything for a reason. They're showing you everything for a reason. They wouldn't be showing you things if they didn't have something to show you.
Actually, let me go off on a tangent. You said you knew someone who edits the trailers, because I've been wondering about that, because people go, oh, like if a trailer's bad, people say, oh, that's not the movie's fault. The movie studio has nothing to do with making the trailer. And I've always thought, I'm like, well, why don't they? It's like the most important thing in marketing your movie. Why do you have nothing to do with it? How does that work?
Well, from what I got from this person, who I haven't, it was at a Mission Impossible screening, and from what I got, they said, from what I can gather, the studio sends them footage, and they send them to this trailer house, and the trailer house takes the footage and edits it all together. That's better. My English was messing up. It puts it all together, and it's and then the trailer happens. So the studio necessarily, like, from what I've heard, like, they're very much on them the entire time. Like, the studio very much controls what gets shown and what doesn't get shown. It's not like it's not usually like the filmmakers. It is usually the studios. I don't know who told you otherwise, but they're wrong.
Yeah,
that's just from what I've heard, I guess. So yeah, you can blame Fox for Fantastic Four trailers not appealing to you.
Yeah. And that was a real good example as to why the trailers were not a good indicator of the movie's quality, because we all thought it would be great.
Yeah, yeah, I had some high hopes, but I don't want to get back into Fantastic Four, not yet, at least.
We'll
yeah,
get
so
there.
that was the 15-second teaser. Yeah, I'm really excited. Civil War. Mark Ruffalo was seen on set. I think, as you may have known, but he claims that Hulk will not make an appearance in Captain America: Civil War, which kind of upsets me because General Ross is in this movie. And I would have loved to see a Red Hulk, Green Hulk fight. I don't know. That's just my personal 5-year-old squealing. So yeah, your thoughts on Hulk not making an appearance in Civil War, but Ruffalo being on set?
Well, at the end of Age of Ultron, I was assuming he was not going to be there because I thought at the end of that, I'm one of those people who thought that he was shot out into space and he was floating away and he'd probably cross over with Guardians of the Galaxy.
That would have been so cool.
and I thought they were doing that deliberately to take Hulk out of the equation for a Civil War fight, because if it's your team versus Stark's team, whichever team Hulk wins is automatically going to win. So then when they said that Hulk might be in it, I was like so upset, because I was like, well, that means we can't be getting any kind of Hulk in space story. Huge missed opportunity. And it's going to derail Civil War.
Unless this one ends with Hulk being shot into space. But even then,
if they wanted to do that, they already had it set up. But yeah, but now they're saying that he's not in it. So I don't know. I'm getting Prometheus vibes of like, it's a prequel. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
see, I liked Prometheus. But then again, I was 12, and I think Prometheus works. Like you said in your video, Prometheus works. It's a great horror film.
Yeah.
Because the characters are so stupid. It's a beautiful, awesome horror movie. But I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, right. Because could you imagine in Age of Ultron end credits scene, we see this stadium. This gladiator stadium, and we see the Guardians just sitting down, Rocket's doing something funny, Drax ordering food and not understanding what things are, Star-Lord's over there flirting with some chick, and Groot's being adorable, and then you see an announcer get ready for the Savage or whatever, and then you see Hulk come out, he's got his metal arm on him, screams at the camera, and then just cuts to black. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be fantastic.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
That would be so good.
The world would lose their minds. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
But I think it is kind of a weird thing to have. Maybe they'll have Bruce Banner in this film and just not have Hulk in it, which again is a missed opportunity. Because
if it's it is possible that since General Ross is in it, they want to have a flashback showing a bit of history between Bruce and General Ross. So he could be there as a flashback thing. But I hope he's not actually in the movie, which, as you said there,
it could be interesting because we haven't seen William Hurt interact with Mark Ruffalo yet, so that's going to be an interesting shift over. Because I really liked Incredible Hulk, but this might also have something to do with. Did you hear about the Kevin Feige creative rights kind of shifting over?
Yeah, what
over at Marvel?
What's up with that? So it's kind of like he almost quit, and they almost fired him, and.
I didn't read the full story, but from what I've heard,
they consider Avengers: Age of Ultron to be a failure, and it's like
I understand why. The reception wasn't. The reception wasn't as well received as Age of Ultron. I don't think it's justified, but whatever.
But it did actually make less money, didn't it?
It made less money,
which is really strange.
I think both.
It still made plenty of money, but it's really rare.
Oh yeah, it's still in the top 10 grossing of all time, but in an age where Jurassic World made $1.7 billion, Avengers $1.4 billion just seems minuscule, which is whatever. Point is, I think Disney's just a little salty over Tomorrowland. But I think it makes because Kevin Feige is no longer answering to the main Marvel head, the main comics guy or whatever. He's now just going right to Alan Horn and Bob Iger. So, and I know the rights to Hulk is split with Universal. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, because I know, maybe with the whole power switch over, Kevin Feige is no longer a part of that deal with Universal, and it's now just him directly with Disney. So, Steven Spielberg, one of the best directors of all time, making some of the best movies of all time. He is possibly working on reboots for Back to the Future and Jaws.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Back to the Future could be okay.
Really?
Well, I mean, it is all about time travel, so.
Well, I mean, just like I Back to the Future, like I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I've never seen the trilogy in full.
Really?
That's something that's something I still have to see. I feel like it's such a staple of its time. It's kind of like Terminator 2 in that sense, because I have seen Terminator 2. In that you watch that movie and it feels very 90s, but like in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Like if they were to redo Back to the Future, I feel like it would lose that quality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, wait a minute.
But with Jaws,
hang on, is it a remake or is it a sequel?
That I don't know. All I knew is that it said reboots,
okay.
So that can go either way. Because I know Mad Max Fury Road was a reboot,
Yeah.
but it was also a sequel.
Because if it was like a sequel and they're like, this is like Marty McFly's son and he's having new adventures, I think that could be okay. Because you're like, it's not
or like
doing
even like a
anything
Star Trek style, like this is an alternate timeline kind of thing with the same car, same concept. I don't know.
Do you reckon any movie can get away with doing that again? It seems like every reboot tries to do that, doesn't it? You know, since Star Trek, everyone's like, this is an alternate timeline. It's like, no.
Yeah, but like, but Star Trek worked because it felt like an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, that fits with it.
Because I feel like that's something they do. Yeah. But I think Jaws could really work.
Yeah.
Because like, especially if you get Spielberg on it, because Jaws, like it's been a few years, but I've seen Jaws. And it's so tense, and you never really see the shark. That's what they have to be careful with, because you never really see the shark up until like that one point where he's like, "You need a bigger boat," and then everything with the story and the lore behind everything before they actually all get on the boats. Everything with the opening scene and the where she goes skinny dipping. This movie could be like, I'm not asking for like a horror film, but like, this could be a real legit thriller, like, don't go in the water, we have to take this thing out kind of thing. I feel like this can really be done well. Sorry, I hit my phone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting because, like, since Jaws, like, Jaws has been, like, since that original movie was made, Jaws has been the touchstone for a lot of attempted, like, suspenseful horror. Everyone goes back and compares it to Jaws. So for them to actually go back and try to do another one, or to remake it. It'll be interesting to see how it's different now.
I'd even be like, okay, like if they do, like they take the Jaws concept and just give it something else, like Alien. Many people say it was just Jaws in space, which I'd be okay. Like you take a concept like it, like you put people in this isolated environment where one thing is hunting them, you know, and that's what makes Jaws so cool, is that it's this story and you have to care about these characters because you don't ever see the shark. So you can't have something like Jurassic World, which we'll get to in a minute, but whatever. So yeah, that's. I think like
as a general thing, like I know it's customary whenever a remake or something is announced, everyone's like, "What?" You know, it's sacrilegious, but maybe it's just becoming desensitized over time. But it doesn't bother me as much anymore as it used to.
Oh no, I think the concept of anyone making a movie is great, just because I love watching movies.
Yeah. And it's like,
even if it's Shyamalan,
even if occasionally we get like a Total Recall remake or whatever, like
which I kind of liked, maybe because I saw it when I was younger. But like remakes, you still have the original.
Yeah,
this is just someone taking on that original, like the last Airbender movie. It sucks, but you still have that original cartoon. You still have that original lore. You can go back and watch the cartoon, you know, it's still a thing. Yeah,
and often, like, like, I mean, sure, there's a lot of bad remakes, but at the same time, you know, if we didn't go back and revisit old franchises, we wouldn't have got the Nolan Batman trilogy, we wouldn't have got the new Planet of the Apes movies, you know, there's lots of good reasons, lots of good examples.
We wouldn't have gotten, like, The Departed.
Yeah, The Departed.
You know,
so it's just part of the process.
It starts this whole thing about originality in film, which I think is such a stupid concept. When people say we need more original movies, and look, I'm not saying every movie needs to be Star Wars or Avengers. I'm just saying that we get original movies all the time. They're just not blockbusters. And whenever they do try to get original blockbusters, they either suck because the idea doesn't work, like Tomorrowland and Jupiter Ascending, or no one sees them, like Edge of Tomorrow. You know, and like if you look at the movies coming out within the next couple of weeks, you got The Visit, you know, the new Shyamalan film. That's an original property. You know, we got so many.
I haven't even heard of that.
Movies coming out.
Oh,
The Visit,
Shyamalan,
exactly
he's
my
still
point.
trying, isn't he?
Well, I'm hearing some pretty cool things.
Really?
It's a found footage horror. Yeah, it's a found footage horror film about these kids going to see their grandparents, and it's apparently a horror comedy, which I'm pretty looking because he does great comedy, unintentional comedy. If you've seen,
No.
yes, oh my God, no, ma'am, we're not.
You're planning on murdering
so
me? What? No.
No. You know why, Mark? Because your face is perfect.
I think we just found a
global warming.
transformer. No.
I think we just found Transformer. No. Yeah.
But like you were saying before, like with like you said, you like okay, they're doing Back to the Future like remake, and you said like you haven't seen all the Back to the Future movies. Like they're doing that. They're doing Ghostbusters. There's a lot of like people out there that have never seen the original Ghostbusters, never seen Back to the Future.
Yes.
So if that's a doorway into the franchise for them, then great. It's all good.
Exactly. You know, and I feel like if we only did original movies, we wouldn't have gotten great movies like you know, whether it be based on properties or not, but like movies like Hook, you know, like Spielberg's Hook. That's Peter Pan. We wouldn't have gotten Wizard of Oz.
That's like the 50th remake of Peter Pan, and it was great.
Yeah, you know, yeah. And they're trying to do Pan again, which I'm excited for. But you know, we're getting so many, and plus, you know, you take the true stories and you turn them into movies, and those are based on properties like Black Mass or Goodfellas, you know. And you have, you know, originality is not always just a go-to thing. You can get great movies based on things like Avengers. But rant over. I digress. People are still going to complain.
I guess what I'm basically saying is like, that initial reaction of like recoiling at any idea of a remake, I don't really have that anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's all just sort of part of the overall process, in my mind anyway.
Right. I guess because I didn't grow up, like I was born in '99, so I wasn't, like I didn't grow up in the 80s or the 90s and had, you know, these movies to go back and reflect on, you know, which is why I guess I kind of felt disdain for when they did like Scooby-Doo, the Smurfs.
Yeah.
You know, when they did a new SpongeBob movie, I went and saw it and I got pretty upset. I understand where people are coming from, because like it is taking what the original concept of the original property was and making it different. Yeah. But at the same time, you still have the original.
It is funny though, like when you go back and you watch a movie that you haven't seen from a while, but you loved when you were younger. Like I remember, like I watched Return of the Jedi for like the first time in ages. I was like, oh yeah, and it was really interesting watching it again. You know, through like a different lens, because I'm like, Princess Leia's there in a metal bikini, and it's never explained. Like no one ever addresses why is she chained to a giant slug. You know, and then all the Ewoks show up, and you're like, don't they have a mission they're supposed to be doing? Is their mission to hang out with teddy bears? What's going on here? But you know, so you always see things differently.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, Jedi for me, that's like, that's kind of like how you feel about Dark Knight Rises, I guess, in a sense. That's how I kind of feel about Jedi, just because think about it, like New Hope's a great start, and then Empire's just so good, you know, and then you give us Jedi, and you're like, well, I mean, the throne room scene was cool. I guess the Jabba's barge scene was kind of cool. I like the green lightsaber. Yeah. But like, there's not a lot in there that I'm a big fan of. But that's whatever.
The beginning and the end is good. The stuff in the middle is just kind of like,
see? Yeah, see, but there are people out there that I know will defend Jedi for the rest of their days. You know, which to each their own. Do you want to keep moving on in the news here? I got one more story for you. Sure. I think. Josh Gad, you know who he is? He played Olaf in Frozen. He was in the Book of Mormon play. I've never seen it. I just he was recently in Pixels, and The Wedding Ringer.
I think so.
Kevin Hart movie. That was actually
like,
pretty funny. He's kind of like Discount Jack
Black. A lot
Black.
of those things I haven't seen. Frozen. I couldn't get past 20 minutes because I hated it. So yeah.
Frozen? My man. All right. I can't tell you. I spent all of 2014 complaining about why Frozen was terrible. It feels so much like I know I did a podcast about us doing an audio commentary track on Frozen almost a year ago, and just it's so much pandering to little girls. The whole movie is just like buy her stuff, girls are cool, girl power. Yeah. And I'm like, whatever.
But I get it. I mean, it's obviously not meant for us. It's like out of all the demographics, we're not the one they're targeting, so I get it.
But like Wreck-It Ralph.
Yep.
Meant for kids, but good for adults. Inside Out, meant for kids, good for adults. Kids deserve more than that.
Yeah.
Bloody minions.
Well, the thing with Frozen was like, I just couldn't take it because I was like 20 minutes in. I was like, oh man, are we like halfway through? And I saw I was barely a minute there. But I was like, why don't you just tell her what happened when you were a kid? You know, and she's banishing her from the Empire. I'm like, just tell her.
Yeah.
Like you weren't allowed to talk about it when you were kids because you're kids. You're adults now. Just explain what happened. Problem solved.
Yeah,
and I just couldn't take it.
And the whole thing with Han being a bad guy. I'm like, I'm still done. I couldn't. I don't know if you didn't make it that far, but did she even meet Han yet at that point?
No, I missed the bit where she got like thrown out of the kingdom, and I was like, nope, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah, okay. The music's good at least. I'm like, say what you want about Let It Go being overplayed. It's a great song. Yeah. It's not the most original song, but it's still a great song. Okay, yeah, so Josh Gad, anyways, he's going to play Roger Ebert in a movie about Roger Ebert making a movie that I forgot the name of with a director, and that director is being played by Will Ferrell. So Josh Gad, Will Ferrell being in a Roger Ebert movie. Huh. I'm pretty excited.
Wow.
Because I think Josh Gad, I think he played Steve Wozniak in Jobs. Or in Jobs, the Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie.
Okay, so not the Fassbender one.
No. I think that one's Seth Rogen. But Josh Gad's a good actor, and he can do the drama well. He's really funny, and he has that energy to him that I feel like he can bring to Ebert. And from what I hear, Ebert was a partying man back in his youth, so it's going to be interesting to see that if they can take that tone and make it maybe kind of not necessarily like a raunchy comedy, but make it like a raunchy drama,
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Yeah.
Well,
that's all you gotta say.
And that was the news.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I had something else. I had something else written down. Just because this is kind of a big deal if you're a Star Wars fan. Force Friday was a thing.
Okay.
A lot of things released on Force Friday. They had a book release called Aftermath that focuses on things post Return of the Jedi. It's the first book to be post Return of the Jedi, which is kind of cool.
Somebody sent me some of that because, someone sent me like an excerpt from that where it said something about the Emperor believed that the dark side came from a place outside of the universe. And someone sent me that because in one of my videos...
That sounds a lot like your what it
Yeah, so I was like, woohoo! Hopefully that carries over into Force Awakens. Because you have no idea how many people said that was a terrible idea. So I could be like, well, listen, they're using a similar one.
I got you, man. I got you. Every time I made a Walking Dead comment, I'd get 17 dislikes, a couple death threats. But it happens.
Oh, man. Have you seen Fear the Walking Dead? It is the most boring TV I think I've ever seen.
Well, you haven't seen season 4 of The Walking Dead.
Actually, I've caught up on The Walking Dead now. At least in that they kill zombies. That pilot episode, I think, was the worst thing ever.
I think the last like 15 minutes of the pilot was good.
I hated every second of it. They were trying to build it up as like this mystery of what's happening.
And it's an hour and 15 minutes.
Huh?
Yeah, like it's 75 minutes with commercials, which is unacceptable.
Yeah.
But did you see episode 2 of Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah, that was a bit better. Yeah, that's what I wanted episode 1 to be.
That daughter, oh my god, she's so stupid.
That was another thing like Frozen. Just tell them what happened. Just explain that this virus makes people dangerous.
Sentence. People are eating each other. One sentence.
Yeah.
People eating each other.
Even when, like, across the street, the zombies eating their neighbor, And the daughter goes out to help him, and she's like, "Don't go out there." Doesn't explain why. It's like, well, what's the daughter gonna think?
Didn't she see the daughter saw the man eating someone, didn't?
If you don't even explain why the daughter's going to be like, "You're a psychopath."
That better be. I didn't see episode 3 yet. I still need to catch up. But
is it out yet?
But oh boy. Huh? Yeah, it comes out on Sundays, I think.
Okay.
Over here in the States. But Force Friday, Aftermath came out, which I haven't read, but I heard isn't that great. I read Heir to the Jedi, and I thought that was pretty good, but it felt very fan fiction-y.
For those who don't know, in the old continuity, after Return of the Jedi, there was a book series that took over called Heir to the Empire. That's all been wiped out to make room for Star Wars 7, Force Awakens.
Yes.
So Aftermath is the new book series that's wiping out the previous continuity that everyone loved.
Yes. Yeah. So and I think they're doing that just so that they can have use some of that stuff for canon. Like I think they're going to do the Solo twins.
Yeah.
I still got faith that Rey is Han Solo's kid. Just imagine, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Like there are those pictures where the stormtroopers are going to fire at him, and I'd like the Falcon lands down. Chewie and Han come out. Chewie's going, shooting down stormtroopers, and then they all get on the Falcon and fly away, and then Rey's just like.
Hey, some people saying maybe John Boyega is actually Lando Calrissian's son.
I wouldn't like that.
But that would make sense as to why he got the lightsaber, because maybe it fell down as part of the Cloud City,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It does make sense. I just think that...
But he doesn't.
I'd like there to be more black people in Star Wars besides the Calrissians.
But then his dad is Billy Dean. That's awesome. Billy Dean!
But just I feel like the universe needs to for a character that we know is not going to be a part of the Skywalker family. I feel like you have a chance to create a new lineage besides the Calrissians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. And not everybody has to be related to somebody from the original.
Exactly.
Just make new characters.
I'm cool with Rey. Yeah. I'm cool with Rey and Kylo Ren being Solo twins because that's part of the Skywalker story. Yeah. But to make, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Boyega, he can just be his own guy, And
there you go.
I like that, you see him with the lightsaber, so he's learning the Jedi. Yeah, because you don't have to be part of the Skywalker family to become, a Force user. Just start learning. So that's good. I'm glad that.
Which makes me think there must be something that activates the Force in him. Otherwise, how is he Force sensitive? Unless there's still other Force sensitive people in the world. But yeah, Force Friday was a big deal. Did you hear about the BB-8s? The BB-8 toys?
No.
Well, BB-8, for you guys don't know, it's the orange ball droid that rolls around in the trailer.
The soccer ball droid.
Excuse me.
The soccer ball droid.
Yeah. And I guess we know how the ball rolls around now because there's 2 of them. In the first version, it's like $20 to $50. And it kind of opens up. It's like a ball, like an empty ball would. And then you stick this device inside of it that you close it back up, and it works as a magnet. And then you put the head on top, and the head doesn't fall over. Yeah. Which I guess is how the actual BB-8 works. Yeah. And then the second one, which is a lot smaller, maybe the size, it's like maybe the width of a water bottle, the circumference of a water bottle. And you can control it with your iPhone, and that's the one I want, but it's like $150. and I know it's too much, but hey, I'd rather spend $150 on Star Wars toys that I know, while I may not play with them forever, I know they'll have value forever, than $150 on a video game system with games that I'll get bored of after 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Like my Xbox.
What about a gaming system that's built into a soccer ball droid?
Sorry, my head just exploded. Why? You just blew my mind. No, I mean, but I just think that that's a cool BB-8 that we finally get to have that on us. And I'd much rather have the $150 one just because I don't think that one's plastic. And I don't think that one opens up. And I just know that eventually the other one that can open up is just going to break down. The plastic's going to wear away. It's not going to want to close right. I don't want to deal with that. Also, the Kylo Ren lightsaber. is out. They officially released their Kylo Ren lightsabers.
Sweet.
You have the cheaper plastic ones, and you also have the special Force effects ones that are white on it, and you activate it and just go, and you can be Kylo Ren, and it's
Also,
awesome. And I want that one too.
Sorry, go on.
No problem. I want that one too.
Yeah. Well, you know when that lightsaber came out, and everyone's like, "Why does it have the crossguard? What is this? A medieval knight sword?" And then
this is Game of Star Wars. Yeah.
Game of Imperial Thrones. But it's like, but then they did say that Kylo Ren, he does run a group called the Knights of Ren. So it makes sense that his sword would be like a medieval knight sword.
Yes, fighting alongside the Knights of Powdered Toast Man.
That's right.
That's for all you Ren and Snippy. That's for all you Ren and Snippy fans. Knight of Powdered Toast Man.
Oh man.
See, I like laughing at my own jokes, but that was funny. Yeah, so I just would you ever be considering to buy any of these toys? Like if you would go out and like which one of these?
I could see myself like buying it for like my younger nephew and be like, "Here's a present for you," and then I'm the one who runs around going. So I could see myself doing that.
See, I'm lucky. I'm still like under 18, which means I get to go out there and buy it and be like, "Oh, he's just a kid buying a toy." Yeah, I lucked out.
Totally.
Yeah, but I think that's all the news. I think that's all the major things we want to talk about here.
Right.
So we go to
our topic.
And now our feature presentation.
Let's go to like the most loved and the most hated.
Yes. Okay.
Let's start with the most hated.
My most hated is not necessarily the worst movie of the summer, because I think we all know what the worst movie of the summer is by far. But my most hated is one that was just so disappointing. And what's more disappointing is that it got so much love from the rest of the world. That's Jurassic World.
What?
The more I think about Jurassic World, the more I just can't stand Jurassic World.
Really?
It's like, first of all, it makes no sense. The movie makes no sense.
What?
Like, all the inciting incidents, all the major things that happen that pull the plot along don't make any sense, and would not make sense if this park was really what it turned out to be. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And the CGI of the dinosaurs is terrible. I'll tell you that. I didn't buy any of the CGI of the dinosaurs.
Really?
Yes. And the characters, it's non-existent. Everyone's just an archetype. Everyone's just like this cutout piece of white Wonder Bread and one black guy. And I wasn't a fan of the direction they took. Like, first up, spoilers.
No, wait a minute. There was one black guy. There was the Indian guy who ran the park. And there was Dr. Wu.
Yes.
So it was...
Yes.
Oh, and a redhead chick. So very multicultural.
Yes, there was.
You got to cover the redhead quota as well.
There was a ginger Star-Lord, a random black guy, and an incompetent Indian man. Yes.
A whimsical,
very
incompetent Indian
progressive. Man. Yes, very progressive. But, like, first of all, they should know that thing is part raptor. Yeah. A, it looks like a giant raptor. And B, she runs the park. The ginger runs the park. So she should know that this thing is part raptor. So not to send Chris Pratt and Wilson Fisk after them with raptors. I just... that movie is just
think, like... Isn't that kind of the idea of Jurassic World? Is like you say, it's cliche and caricatures and all that. But that's kind of what the Jurassic Park franchise is. You know,
yeah,
it's not meant to be a gritty, realistic thing. It's meant to be a Spielberg-Garian kind of family thing where no one's...
Yeah,
it's not supposed to be realistic.
And you can have... But then you can have, whimsical family fun and would still have... Hush, Duke. Sorry, my dog. You can still have whimsical family fun and still have good, well-rounded characters and like movies from the Marvel Cinematic, like Guardians of the Galaxy. Whimsical family fun, not nitty and gritty at all, but you still have, for the most part, well-rounded characters, and you buy all their motivations. You know, and everything makes sense for the most part, because nothing truly makes sense in every movie ever. Sorry, but because I don't know, it stuck with me the wrong way. The moment the movie ended, I just went, like, what's wrong, Trey? I'm like, well, I mean, that movie had like 3 cool scenes. It had the scene where where we found out that the Dominus Rex could camouflage, which was a great scene. The CGI looked crap, but it was a great scene. You have the scene where the pterodactyls take that babysitter and start dunking her in and out of the water, and then the monster comes up and just like chomps them.
Yeah.
I clapped at that scene. I was like, "That's beautiful."
That was great.
Can we get more stuff like
You're
that?
like, I don't know what you did to deserve this, but you must have done something really bad.
Exactly. Pawning off your children to this British lady, and then at the end, she's like, "Open paddock 9," and then like she opens the doors, the flare, and then you see the T-Rex. And people in the theater went, yeah, and started clapping. I was like, that's beautiful. Congratulations. But everything else is pretty much just like, it's just bland. Like nothing stuck with me in a way that I wanted it to. And I was defending Jurassic World since like the beginning. Like the first trailer comes out and a lot of people are crapping on it. I'm just like, guys, calm down. This can be a really cool trailer. This can be a really cool movie. And then I go in there. I'm like, well, that wasn't very good. And everyone else is just like, oh, I loved it. And so I'm like, okay. Rant over.
But you said it was one of those ones where, like, only after and you started to think about it more that you started to hate it. Is that right?
Well, I mean, just like because like I range my enjoyment of movies by how much of a good time I'm having while I'm watching the movie, and there were only certain segments of the movie where I was legit having a fun time watching it, where I was just like, this is cool, I like this. But there were other times where I'm just like, what? This doesn't know. And it did nothing really connected with me in a way I wanted it to. Yeah.
I mean, I enjoyed it enough, and like, I don't know. I just think Jurassic Park gets a pass on a lot of stuff for some reason. I don't know why.
It's not perfect. Yeah, it's not Spielberg's best, like many people think it is.
Like the criticisms you make are valid, but for some reason I just don't think they matter with Jurassic Park. I don't know why.
Well, hey man, I feel the exact same way about the old Fantastic Four movies. Maybe it's because I was 5 and 7 when the first two came out, and so those have like a perfect kind of standstill point in my mind of like those movies are so much fun, even though they're complete crap, that every time they're on, I have to watch them. That's just me. But
wow.
Yeah, but you're least hated of the.
Is it most? Are we picking most loved and most hated of the year, or most loved and most hated of all time? Because I just picked of all time.
Of all time? Oh, Jurassic World's not my most hated of all time.
I know, that's why I was surprised when you said one. Oh, well, don't worry. Well, just everyone know my list is of all time because I prepared this wrong.
I can give you no because I know we talked about our favorite movies. I thought we were also going about through the summer since summer's over. I can give you my most hated of all time after you want to give your most hated.
Oh, okay.
I have my most hated of all time.
Yeah, because...
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Sorry, everyone. This is the first time we've done this. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, because I got my 3 most loved and 3 most hated, but I also got top movies of this year because I wasn't sure which... Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, do you want me to tell me my most hated of all time?
Yes,
it's a movie that a lot of people don't remember, but I certainly do. Mm-hmm. It was the remake of Red Dawn that had Thor in it.
Oh, yeah. Josh Peck, Isabel Lucas.
That is, without a doubt, my most hated and despised movie ever.
Yeah, and you're right. I don't remember a lot. I remember Chris Hemsworth dies. That's all I remember.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that you don't remember it because there's not much in it, but it's like...
I saw it for free with my dad because we had some free passes. Oh man, I don't even remember. Like we didn't pay for it.
The reason I hate it so much is because it's like otherwise you're like, oh, it's just a stupid movie, whatever. It's a B movie. You know, you just watch it and you forget about it. But this is a movie that like just offended me on a personal level. Yeah. Because I was like,
it messed with you the wrong way.
Yeah, I was just like, because the whole thing's about like North Korea invades America, which in itself is ridiculous. Because it was going to be China, but then they changed it like at the last minute to North Korea because they wanted to avoid any controversy and stuff.
They wanted to keep that Chinese market.
Yeah. So whatever, you know, you do what you got to do, whatever. But man, it was like war from the perspective of a 5-year-old. I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
And then the bad guys go pew 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 pew, and they all go Wolverines, and then they all win in the end, and they get the people off the buses.
Yeah, and it's like they run in and they do like guerrilla attacks on like the North Korean soldiers here and there, and then they run it back out and they hide to the woods. I'm like, do you know what North Korea is like? They would kill the entire town for you doing that. Like there's no consequences, and somehow they just conjure up like an endless supply of, you know, food and guns and weapons and bullets just out of thin air. And you're like, where are they even getting these from? You know? And they could just magically teleport into situations. Like they show up to like assassinate some key guy, and it's kind of like a trap. And then there's like a cutscene and you just see them driving away on a road. And I'm like, how did they get out of there? Did they just teleport?
The movie also like goes on. It's only like 90 minutes. Yeah. It still goes on for like 20 minutes too long. Ugh. Like I know I think something happens with the North Koreans. Chris Hemsworth gives the trailer a line like, you messed with the wrong family. Yeah. Caps him in the head, and then they're celebrating, and then Chris Hemsworth dies, and the movie goes on for another 20 minutes. And I'm like, well,
it was so bad, and it's like, man, because it's like North Korea invading America, so it's like you can see they tried to, they team up, they get like an American soldier team that meets up with them, like proper soldiers meets up with them, and they've got like one of those soldiers is like an Asian American guy, and it's just so obvious that they're like, oh, we better make one of them Asian American just so that we don't want people to think that we're vilifying all Asian people. So now that we've got that covered, let's go back to this horrible stereotype of like, ooh,
we're just vilifying all.
Yeah, and we've got these nasty scheming Russians, but we're not racist because we got this one soldier who's Asian American. It's like, shut up, you're offensive. It's like, as a movie, it's just whatever, but just as a sane human being with an actual brain thinking, I'm like, no movie, bad movie. That's a bad movie.
No. We do that outside. We do that over there. We don't do this in America.
Sit in the corner and think about what you've done.
You're lucky you have Thor, Chris.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my most hated movie of all time.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a bad movie, man. I honestly don't. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember it at all.
I don't blame you for that. You're lucky. You're lucky. Okay. Don't go back and rewatch it, because then it will get stuck in your brain.
Oh no! I haven't seen the original. I might go back and watch the original, because I'm a Patrick Swayze
Actually,
guy.
I never saw the original.
I think Charlie Sheen's in it also. 87,
really?
I think. Shoot. Okay, so do you want me to get into my worst of all time since we're here?
What's your number one?
Okay. So I've thought about this for a while, and I've got two, but I'm gonna give it to another one. I'm gonna do like a 1A, 1B kind of thing. My 1A is Tusk. The Kevin Smith movie Tusk.
I watched that the other day because I knew you were gonna bring it up and I hadn't seen it. So I just watched that.
It's just,
yeah.
I respect a man who's willing to put his own money into things, to take his own ideas, after his own stoner ideas, and turn them into movies. Don't pollute the movie theaters with an idea you had with your friend when you were high. The concept of turning a man into a walrus could work as a movie, but not if you're Kevin Smith. Mm-hmm. How do I put this? Let's go from the start. You have this arrogant, obnoxious, not likable at all a-hole of a person, and
played by Justin Long.
And we see the Justin Long. I guess, should we get the premise or whatever? It's a man meets this Canadian guy and he gets turned into a walrus. It sucks. Don't see it.
He's a podcaster. Pff, what a loser.
Yes.
But
get a bloody job.
Yeah, get a real job.
No, but like the context of the movie is Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier, while on their show Smodcast, came up with this idea about a man turning another man into a walrus, and it just all kind of just became in this. Oh, someone's at my door, and it all just kind of became this big deal, and the movie at the first maybe 10-15 minutes isn't that bad. It has kind of a creepy tone to it. I just didn't like any of the characters except maybe what's his name? Haley Joel Osment. I thought he was pretty cool. But I thought the girl was obnoxious. I thought Justin Long was just unbearable to sit through. And that weird mustache. And then Howard Ho, that character.
Yeah.
Michael Parks' character just came in and he was kind of creepy. He had that vibe to it of like, this can go really wrong. I'm excited to see what they can do with it. Because at that point in time when I saw it, I didn't see the suit. I didn't know what the suit looked like at all. So I'm watching it, and when it reveals that he's this walrus thing, and I see it, I'm like, that's it? Some skin-colored rubber with stitched together, expected to look horrible. And the worst thing about it is that it's a movie that sticks with you in all the wrong places. Like the image of Justin Long looking up in his walrus suit is so burned into my mind that whenever I see a shot of someone looking up and their eyes are kind of red and they're a white guy, I get non-flashbacks of watching Tusk. And it was the worst movie I saw last year. And it's a movie that I think is so cynical because Kevin Smith on his podcast, I know whenever they talk about the Oscars, they always talk about how it's too long and how it needs to be cut down. But then you go and watch Tusk, and you have this 10-minute scene between Michael Parks and Johnny Depp, and it's just atrocious. It goes
on and on and on.
And for someone to talk about editing, dude, like, come on,
it's
man.
like you're not Quentin Tarantino. You can't make just two people talking interesting for that long.
Yes.
Do something else.
Yes, and so when it's revealed, and the movie has the stupidest ending ever, honestly.
Yeah.
He went full raw with some, shut up. Like, there's no way.
But you know what? Despite all that, when I watched it, I was like, I agree with everything you said, but afterwards I was like, I'm a little surprised that, it didn't become more of, like, I mean, it tanked really hard, but I'm surprised that it's not the kind of thing that people would say to their friends, you got to see it just because it's so weird. It wasn't even really bad. Because
it's not like a Sharknado or a The Room to where it's like, to where it's so bad it's funny to sit down and watch. It's just a movie where you're sitting down, you're watching it, and you feel like you're being violated on screen. And I don't mean that in a funny way. Like the movie ended, and I just feel like I gotta take a shower. And it's just, but you don't laugh about it afterwards. You just get angry. Like, why did I have to watch that? Yeah. And people are complimenting him for doing like an original body horror film, and I'm like, no, don't encourage this behavior. Don't encourage a man to fuel his own crazy stoner dreams and put it in our movie theaters.
I do feel though, because I listened to Kevin Smith's podcast, and the week after it came out, and it tanked spectacularally badly, and poor Kevin Smith, I really felt for him because like in that podcast, he's so depressed throughout all of it, and like his podcast partner is like trying to sort of keep him lighthearted because they're trying to do a comedy show, but he's like, and he kind of is, but he keeps sort of going back to it, like. Like they'll talk about something else, and he'll be like, "See, that's what went wrong."
At least he was rightfully punished. At least he was rightfully punished for making a poor movie, because that's what you get for trying to put the rest of the world in on your own little inside joke. And I wasn't a part of it. I don't care if you put your podcast at the end of the movie. That is an excuse for the movie being, look, I'll tell you what, it's well shot. I think the shots are pretty cool. I think it's the shots well composed, but that's like saying, the poop had a nice long figure to it. It's like,
but it was a passion poop. It was a passion project.
Yeah, but it's still
and it's always feast or famine with him, and that was definitely a famine. But it's like God. There was. Again, I did actually find, like, not so much the body horror stuff, but like when it would show that podcaster in his life, and it would go back to his relationship and that. I actually found those interesting because I was like, oh, that's cool. Because he's like, especially like when he's talking to his girlfriend, she's like, I like the old you. And he's like, well, the old me was unsuccessful. The old me was a loser. I don't like the old me. And I found all that kind of interesting.
I just feel like that all just kind of gets shafted to the side by what Kevin Smith, what his main goal was. I
think Kevin Smith might have been trying to do kind of like a parallel about like, how his personality has transformed, sort of like paralleling how his body transforms into this hideous thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And Kevin Smith putting his daughter and
Johnny Depp's daughter.
Yeah, there you go, Johnny Depp's daughter into it. Like, no reason. And then he's giving them their own movie, so whatever.
Nepotism at
he
its
hasn't learned his
finest,
lesson. He didn't learn his lesson, so whatever. What can I say?
Yeah.
I have no say in this world, but I'm gonna keep talking.
That whole idea worked with After Earth, so why not do it with?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just stand out, work it After Earth, and Shyamalan made Will Smith boring, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
He achieved the impossible, so of course Kevin Smith can pull it off. Duh.
Yeah. I think like maybe if Tusk had come out like in the 90s, then it would have become the kind of thing where people are like, we've never seen anything like this before. You've got to see it. It's so weird.
I'm thinking
today,
they give it to David Lynch. Give Tusk to David Lynch, and I think he can do something really cool with it. Maybe Lynch or Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Give those guys maybe the Tusk. I think we can get something really special, but instead we got a fever dream. But that's my worst film of all time. I was gonna go with Last Airbender, but I can laugh at Last Airbender. I can't laugh at Tusk. Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
Well, my next hated one is we might need to save the most loved movies for next time because it's been like an hour and we're barely even through them. So do you want to do that? Let's save like most loved for like the next episode or something. Yeah, because otherwise, well, this podcast will be like 3 hours long. But my next hated one was actually I'm going to switch them around a bit. My next hated one was Napoleon Dynamite.
See, I've never seen it, but I've heard like that movie is like it's beloved. It's like the world loves Napoleon. Hey man, I didn't like Jurassic World, so whatever, man.
Well, it's
so go on.
Well, I think in many ways it's actually I guess kind of like how Napoleon Dynamite became a cult classic in probably the way Kevin Smith was hoping Tusk would, sort of in a weird way, like become a cult classic. But no, like I hate Napoleon Dynamite because there's a bit of a story to this. Like, I had not seen it. Like, so when it came out, there'd been a whole bunch of movies before it that were like the nerd becomes the hero. So like when Napoleon Dynamite came out, I was like, oh, it's another one of those. I don't need to see it. And then it blew up into this huge thing where like everybody just would not shut up about it. So
yeah, it's like Juno.
It's the kind of thing where people like make a reference to like Napoleon Dynamite, and you're like, "Oh, I haven't seen it." And then the next 20 minutes is people going, "What? I can't believe you haven't seen it."
Yeah.
So I started to just fake that I had seen it. So like I knew certain lines from the movie that people repeat, so I would just say them. So I would pretend that I'd seen it, so
Pedro,
I didn't have to. But what actually happened is my friends, they knew I hadn't seen it, so they tricked me into seeing it. Because at the time I was really into poker. So they said, hey, we're going to have a poker night at our house. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally down for that. And like my friend's like, says, oh, I'll pick you up on the way. I'll drive you there. That way you can drink or whatever and you don't have to drive home. And I was like, yeah. But they did that so that I didn't have my car so I couldn't leave. So I walk in and I'm like, where's all the poker stuff? And they're like, no, we're watching Napoleon Dynamite. I'm like, I don't want to watch it. And they're like, you have to watch it. So I was forced to watch Napoleon Dynamite. And
like that might feel you a little bit, dude. I don't want to.
Nothing's harder than enjoying a comedy that you don't want to have to watch, and especially a comedy like Napoleon Dynamite, where the humor, like the entire humor, is like an in joke. So if you don't feel like you're in on it, you're just sitting there going, "What is this?" And that was me. I was just like, "These aren't even jokes." I was like, "How? Why are you laughing? There's nothing."
Saying "gosh" isn't funny, but it's funny to the rest of the world. If it makes you feel any better, I tricked my friends into watching the Babadook. So
how did that go?
So I just we all went over to my friend has this big Netflix or this big wall-to-wall projector screen in her. She has a theater room, and and I said, all right, everyone, close your eyes. I'm gonna show you a really cool movie. And I think I told him it was gonna be like a superhero film they hadn't seen, and so I'm scrolling through and I start playing the Babadook is on. But all their parents was at work at that point, so no one could go home. And I was like, let's just watch it, guys. And,
what did they think?
So we said that and watched the Babadook. They all loved it, but they were like all shaky afterwards.
That's a solid movie.
I
love that movie. It's great. Like it was scary as hell, but it kind of had a good message at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not usually one to be like, I can't sleep after watching a movie.
Yeah.
Like it has been like since like The Conjuring, where I saw a movie, I'm just like, I can't sleep afterwards. Babadook, like whenever she's looking up on the ceiling and like she sees it crawling on the ceiling and then she jumps at her face. I paused it because I watched it on Netflix. I paused it. I stood up, cut my lights on, and went because I was so shaken. I've never I felt this terror inside, and then I cut all the lights back off. I cut the movie back on. I'm just like, okay,
you want to
let's keep going.
Know something? I actually watched that movie at like 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. Because I had it on DVD and I could not get to sleep, and I was like, well, I still got that movie. I may as well watch it now. Really bad idea.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, and like the scene where we see it, like we see it full figure, and like the hands come flying out.
Oh,
or whatever.
Dude, you know what?
It's like this weird levitating.
I live in the
thing.
country, so my house is like in the woods, and it was a windy night. So outside, it was just these spindly like shadows just going. Just moving back and forth, and I was like, "This is the scariest thing ever." But
another tangent, if I want to go, if we're talking about scary sounds. After my dad saw The Conjuring, because my dad's like the toughest guy I know. After he saw The Conjuring, we used to have a guinea pig, and he couldn't sleep, so he went to the restroom, and he heard my guinea pig rolling on the wheel, and these were his exact words. He was like, "Oh hell no!" And he ran out the house and went like to Walmart. And I've never heard my dad like get so scared from watching a movie. But yeah, Babadook is just.
But it's got like a good sort of message at the end, because it's all kind of like a metaphor for like depression, and we've all got that dark side inside us, and it's kind of like don't let the Babadook in. So it's basically saying, but also kind of like acknowledge that it's there. It's basically saying, look, we've all got that darkness inside us. We've all got that depression inside us. When you go through bad times, don't give in to it. You know, like it's going to be there, but don't give in to it. That's basically what it was, which is a good message at the end of the day.
I guess you want to get right into the viewer questions. So one that that submitted first, so I'll pick a couple here.
Yeah. Viewer questions, listener questions.
Excuse me, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
This is a listener question where everyone can do it on BanditIncorporated's Facebook page. You can on his Twitter. You can email me at welcometopm@gmail.com. Yeah, all the stuffs. Question one here. Future of the MCU, like Phase 4.
I don't know. What do you
have any ideas?
What do you think?
I think every phase kind of has to build to an event, in a sense. Like Phase 1, the event was the Avengers. Phase 2, you could argue the event was Age of Ultron, with Phase 3 being the Civil War, Infinity Wars. I think they could do World War Hulk.
Yeah.
I think that by the time we get to Inhumans, the Infinity Wars, I believe, will have been the movies will have been out, and Inhumans will be the next step of the Marvel Universe, which will basically be Marvel's X-Men. And then we'll have Spider-Man in there by then if all plays out well. I think Cap might not be around anymore. We might not have Iron Man or Thor, but we'll have Miss Marvel, we'll have Black Panther, we'll still have the Guardians. Like, I feel like the next biggest step is to do World War Hulk, because that's the next, I think, biggest event. When I think of Marvel big events, I think of Civil War, Infinity Gauntlet, and World War Hulk.
Yeah, totally. Because, I mean...
yeah.
I mean, when it gets to... Because, like, from now, the next thing I want to see is them going more cosmic, which they are going to do in Infinity Wars, we hope. So after that, I mean, either World War Hulk, because I just really want to see that storyline play out. Either that or... What was it called? I think my mate Milan... There's a storyline which involves like time travel. I can't remember.
I think I know Age of Ultron has time travel, but I don't know if I can't think of another one on the top of my head. But I know Age of Ultron has time travel.
But I'd like that, because we've all lived through the Marvel Universe now, so to be able to time travel back through it, like some of the moments of the other movies, I think that'd be interesting. Like go back and see how different events would play out. Like it'd be like Terminator Genesis.
Like what if Or like just stop. Or like what if how do I put this? What if like the Chitauri had different backup in or if Loki had a different army in the first Avengers, or what if Tony Stark was ever put in that cave and how things would really play out and would the Avengers ever be a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a great idea. See, that's much better than might just have Hulk be angry for 2 hours. That's.
But you could use. But then again, World War Hulk is
Yeah, and like have World War Hulk be like an outcome of someone going to time travel.
Well, maybe World War Hulk is Loki's plan to take over Earth. He uses Hulk to do it, sort of thing.
Oh my God! See, that's why you got 33,000 subscribers. That's why I've got 274. Okay, so I've gone on the Facebook page and found a couple of more questions. I'm gonna read you one and see what you think about this. Oh, I just lost it. Shoot.
Again, while you're doing that, I'll go to the Twitter one. We'll see what we got.
Okay, oh my God! I can't believe I lost it. Where was it? I just had it. Oh, here we go. Have you watched Lost? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? It's my personal favorite TV show.
Lost?
Mm-hmm.
I think I lasted until the 4th season.
Oh, you're better than I am.
Was it the 4th or the 5th? Something like that. And then I gave up on it and I came back for the final episode. And I just jumped to the conclusion. I was like, okay, yeah, they're in limbo. That's kind of what we all thought.
Yeah, I binged.
Which apparently that's not what it is, though, because I mentioned that in a video and people were like, they weren't in limbo, it was this other thing, but the other thing they described still sounds like limbo to me.
You recording stuff?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm listening.
Yeah, it's alright.
I binged 6 seasons in about 2 weeks.
Wow.
In about 2 weeks on winter break. So, yeah, that wasn't... It wasn't the smartest idea because by the time I got to season 6, I was so confused and I was so quote unquote lost. And and when it ended, I was just like, that's it. I mean, I cried because we spent 2 weeks. That's like what 22 times 6 is. You spend hundreds of hours with these people, and just suddenly see them all die. You're just like, that's so sad. And, but when you look at it from a standpoint like that, doesn't make a lot of sense. But when Jack died, I lost my mind. My dog's back in my room, back in my kennel.
I got a question here.
So
it says, if 2015 was the year of spy movies, which was a slightly dead genre, which genre will come back in 2016? I'm going to say Hateful Eight is going to kickstart the Western again. That's what I think is going to happen.
You think so? You think so?
Plus, there is also another Western coming out. What is it? I can't remember, but there is another.
Is it Slow West? Is it Slow West?
That could be.
I know that one was. I don't know if that's a Western. I heard about it.
But I'd like to see the Westerns come back.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be like the year of 2016, but I think video game movies are going to come back. I think just because like Duncan Jones is a proven director, and he's doing Warcraft, and I think if Warcraft comes out and is a success, and it's like. And it does things right, in a way that Hitman and Pixels and other video game movies haven't done right. I think we can get a resurgence of the video game genre and get like a legit, not just good plethora of video game movies. Plus, we're getting Assassin's Creed soon, Uncharted, all that. So I think video game might be coming back. But I wouldn't say, because like the spy movies have always been around, like Mission Impossible's been around forever. James Bond's been around for forever. I guess just because this year happened to be a year that we got a lot of we happen to get a lot of spy movies. I honestly didn't know for sure. A fan has a question I don't know if you want to answer. Bruno Franco asked on Facebook, talk about your future what it should have been videos.
I know Bruno Franco, he's a regular to the channel. My future what it should have been, right now I'm just full steam ahead with the Revenge of the Sith, writing that. I've got a full cast of voice actors who are going to voice act everything. I'm still doing the voice of the narrator, and I'm still going to do Anakin because I couldn't find someone else I was happy with, and I don't want to pay for an extra guy.
Of course.
So that's supposed to be it.
It's not like you have a guy that you're doing a podcast with or anything. No, don't worry about it. I'm all right. Don't even worry about it.
Hey, if you're working for free, that's fine. But
dude, you don't even know, man. Use the Force, Luke. Yeah, that's my Mace Windu.
But I'm doing that. I'm still working on the script. It's very like. I'm really feeling the pressure for this one because there's a lot of stuff I got to tie up, and if I get it wrong, I'll never hear the end of it.
You told me about some things that I won't reveal here, but that you are working on, and I think that it's a cool concept. I'm just excited to see how it's going to play out because either way, I'm going to have a blast reading the comments.
But apart from that, I'm also. After that, I might not go back to the What It Should Be videos for a while because I do have another idea that I'm going to do, which is making, like for the channel, like an animated story, and it's like an original story, but it's basically going to be like, you know those books that are Choose Your Own Adventures? Where at the end of each chapter you can go this way or that way. I figured I'll make a story that's like that, but it's a whole bunch of videos, so at the end of each video you can choose this way or that way. And... yeah, I'm still fleshing that out. So I might actually start working on that.
I mean, that's a cool concept. It's a cool concept. Yeah, so that's cool. Well, thank you, Bruno Franco, for that question.
I got one here.
Do you have another one on your end?
You have to forgive me because I got to bring this up. But Logan H. said, talk about the state of the Terminator franchise moving forward.
Oh, that's right.
Lots of unnecessary hate for Genesis, but it made tons of money overseas. Now, let me tell you.
Definitely wouldn't say unnecessary, but yes.
Well, see, my buddy Billy T800, like, he's a huge Terminator nut. He's been following this since the very first mention of this movie.
Yeah, I watched some of his stuff. Yeah.
And the way it is like, they have planned it out as 3 movies, but to even consider making a sequel, it needs to make $450 million plus, okay? And just recently what's happened is I think it made something like 310 million, but it hadn't yet opened in China, right?
China is, for you guys that may not know, China is like the king. Like if America has any subsidiary to how much a movie makes to a country, it's China. Like Furious 7 made like 100 million in a day in
and
China.
It's also, if you look up the kind of movies that are in the top 10 in China, they're really quite different to they are in the Western world. They have very different tastes, but action movies and sci-fi movies and like Pacific Rim and things like that, they always do really, really well there. So we were banking that it should make about 100 million, that will push it over the 450 million mark, and we'll get that sequel. So it was all on China. And now that it has opened, we're still waiting to get finalized figures, but it opened first day, broke box office records all across China. In one day. In one day. So odds are they will make enough money to justify a sequel. It'll just depend whether they've got the guts to go ahead and do it.
No. Just
accept it as its own thing. It's a new thing.
Just let it die. Just let it die.
Hey, James Cameron can, embrace it as something new.
But James Cameron's an old man who thinks blue people are sexy. There's.
You mean they're not?
James Cameron does not have.
You want some of that Na'vi? You know you do. Don't be naive. You want the Na'vi.
That's a t-shirt. That's a t-shirt. If you have to name the title, don't be naive. You want that Na'vi. That's a t-shirt.
So, but to answer the viewer question, state of the Terminator franchise moving forward. If they go ahead and greenlight it, it's definitely going to be more Asian-centric, more Chinese-centric. They'll probably end up going to China in the sequel, would be my bet.
They'll pull up Transformers 4 and set the whole third act in China.
You can guarantee they would. I mean, if they do greenlight a sequel, expect a huge chunk of it to take place actually in China, would be my guess. Maybe bring in a Chinese character, etc.
Absolutely. Okay. I have... how many more questions do you want to answer? Because I got a couple more here.
Yeah, maybe a few more.
Okay. This one says, from Alex Cepeda, will the amount of characters in Infinity Wars be a problem? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. Because that's the point of it, the Infinity War, isn't it? It's everyone against Thanos.
Just don't expect... if you go in expecting every character to have a fleshed out story, then you're going to be disappointed and claim that there are too much characters. Like people, I feel like people went into Avengers: Age of Ultron expecting everyone to get their fair share of screen time and character story arcs. So when Thor got kind of shafted, when Cap didn't get a lot of development, people were like, heresy. But Cap got development anyway.
I guess it'll make sense in Infinity Wars with like so many different characters. They'll just say the characters everyone already knows, we'll just put them in. We won't bother having a story. But the newer ones that people want to see more of, they'll probably spend the time on them,
And if Spider-Man's going to turn out the way I think it's going to turn out, then we're going to get a lot of Spider-Man in Infinity War. Just because...
I'm so sick of Spider-Man. Yeah. I don't want to see... I want to see Black Panther. He's new. I haven't seen him before. Show me more Black Panther. Show me more Ant-Man. Yes. Show me more Doctor Strange. I don't want to see Spider-Man anymore.
I did love Ant-Man.
Put him in the same corner that we can put Ben Affleck's Batman. We've seen enough of Batman. Show us the other characters. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let's not get too crazy. I will be a Batman defender for the rest. Now, let's not get too crazy now. Hold on.
Yeah, Batman's cool, but, there's lots of other characters in the DC universe. Like, show us some more.
I agree. But speaking of Batman... wait, I just lost... Yeah, speaking of
was
Batman...
that a view question?
Jack Critchley asks, fan casting for future Batman film with Ben Affleck.
Does he mean recasting Batman or other people?
No, I think he means I think he means like what's the cast going to look like for the future Batman movies. I guess that's what he kind of meant.
I'm trying to think like who hasn't been cast. I mean, we got our Joker, we got our Alfred, we got our. I guess we don't have Commissioner Gordon.
I'd like to see a Commissioner Gordon. I'd like to see a Jason Todd Red Hood. Because I think that's where they're going to go with the story.
With the Joker one, yeah.
I'd like to see... because, have you seen the animated film Under the Red Hood?
Yeah, I've seen that.
If they could do, the first solo Batman film just be like that, then that's great. You get... who's a good guy to play Jason Todd? I know who I want for Commissioner Gordon, but no one would want it. I'd want Matthew McConaughey as Gordon.
Actually,
just because I think
can I just say sidebar? side point.
I don't know what that means.
Is on the whole, because for anyone who doesn't know, there's a lot of theories out there that the Jared Leto Joker used to be Jason Todd, but he was tortured by the real Joker, and
I hate that.
But apparently, that would explain why he has all those terrible tattoos. Because people Joker wouldn't do that to himself; he'd do it to someone else. So if he is Jason Todd, who's taken on the
maybe
Joker.
just because David Ayer is a fan of people with tattoos.
Could be. But I've heard that people have taken the bullet holes in the Robin uniform that you see in the trailer and compared it to shirtless Jared Leto, and it does look like he has scars in those spots under his tattoos.
Man, I really don't want Joker to be Jason Todd.
But that'd be great. That would explain every single problem with the way he looks. It'd be a new take on the character. It'd be a great twist.
Just accept what you've done.
How could you not like it?
Well, because it's not a twist anymore, is it? Because we've all seen it coming.
Yeah, I suppose, but
Jason Todd is that character, and it's kind of that duality of the character because you're basically taking Red Hood and making him the Joker instead of giving us the Joker and Red Hood. Red Hood is a good character all on its own. You don't need to make him the Joker. But the Joker in itself is its own character.
But it worked when they did a twist like this for the Mandarin.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
Oh yeah, we're really looking forward to the real Mandarin showing up. Yeah, that really went somewhere, didn't it? Oh my god! Thanks, Marvel.
Oh jeez. You know that was Guy Pearce's idea, right?
Oh no!
He talked to Shane Black, and he talked to Shane Black, and he was like, "Hey, I got an idea for something." And Shane Black was like, "I like that." And they put it in the movie. And
generally, Hollywood don't listen to the actors when it comes to the story. Listen to the writers when it comes to the story because they actually understand what they're talking about.
I just I feel like Jason Todd and Red Hood. You have that thematicness, the almost Shakespearean-esque thing of the character because you have this character who feels so betrayed by Batman, who feels so shamed that he hasn't killed the Joker because the Joker made him into this kind of monster. And I feel like if you make Jason Todd the Joker's main motivation is just that he does things because he can. To quote Jeremy Johns, who's a movie reviewer, you know, the Joker does things.
I know Jeremy Johns.
Scratches his butt on the carpet because he can. So to make Jason Todd the Joker, that kind of ruins the essence of that character. Hush, Duke.
And to make Jason Todd the Joker is kind of similar to Tusk. He's been transformed into it.
Oh, now you're just messing with me. See, now you really just want. Oh, see, now I'm never going to be on your side. See,
well, should
podcast over?
Should we wrap it up because we're going for an hour and a half? So.
Okay, yeah, sure. My dad blocked in. He wanted to know. My old cousin wants to know how we make podcasts. I'll explain to it later. Okay, great. Great. So great discussion.
Yeah. Hopefully this was a fun podcast for you guys to listen to. Sorry, we're so disorganized. Hopefully we'll get better as we go.
No, it's just it. Yeah. My family had a last minute thing. No, but it was great talking with you, man. It was great hearing that you have such a hate for Napoleon Dynamite. That was the shocker.
And Frozen.
And thanks everyone for all the viewers submitted. Oh yes. See, we agree. I'm giving you a virtual handshake, man. I'm just telling you. We have so many. Thanks for all the viewer submitted questions. Sorry we couldn't get to every single one. So much. We had to keep the podcast.
We got one hell of a response. Yeah. We didn't expect so many.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll bank them.
Apparently, putting Trey in your title gives you a lot of more responses. I'm just saying. Thank you. So yeah, thank you guys all for watching. Where can the good people find you, Bandit?
Actually, I just thought I'd explain. So for everyone knows, the format of the show is we're going to do, when movies are out, we'll do spoiler talk. So we'll have the movie news at the beginning. We'll have spoiler talk all about like whatever movie is out at the time. And then we'll always finish with user submitted questions. So keep them coming for each episode. Mm-hmm. As there's not really any movies out between now and the next episode, then we're going to cover our most favorite movies of all time. That's what the podcast will be about. So hopefully that all makes sense.
Man, I'm so excited.
I love that movie, dude.
No, but
I love it so much.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna talk about it next week. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Hey, do you have a pen? Could you write your name down for me?
Supply and demand. Yeah. No, I got a pen. Supply and demand. No, but. So yeah, where can the good people find you on the social media sites?
They can find me on YouTube as Bandit Incorporated, or on Facebook or Twitter of the same name, and they can find you.
Oh yeah, you can find me on I'm on the YouTubes. You can find me on YouTube on Podcast Media. We talk where we do. I do kind of what you do. We review movies. We do podcasts. We talk about topics like we talked about today. And we recently recreated the Star Wars trailer shot for shot on a $20 budget, so that was a cool project we did. I'm also on, and my main form of contact is either YouTube or Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Podcast Media. I love posting pictures of me with lightsabers. Yeah. Hi.
So thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next episode, hopefully.
I forgot to write a closer.
That's all right. We'll figure it out next time.
Oh, wait. Catch you all later on Movie Maniacs.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, there you go.